You don't lose respect in one dramatic moment. You lose it quietly. It happens when someone interrupts you and keeps talking, when a sarcastic comment slips in and everyone pretends it's harmless, when a passive-aggressive joke lands and you feel that familiar pressure to smile, explain, or prove yourself. These moments are small, but they add up. And over time, people learn exactly how far they can push you. Most men respond the same way. They argue, they get emotional, or they lower themselves by over-explaining, trying to be understood, trying to keep the peace. Stoicism teaches something radically different. You don't need to win arguments to earn respect. You don't need to raise your voice, and you don't need to harden yourself into aggression. The strongest response is often silence, not the silence of fear, not the silence of submission, but the silence of discipline, chosen, controlled, and intentional. Weak silence avoids conflict. Stoic silence controls it. Marcus Aurelius understood this deeply. He knew that the moment you let others provoke your emotions, you surrender authority over yourself. And once that authority is gone, respect follows it out the door. This video is not about becoming cold or distant. It's about standing so firmly in control of yourself that disrespect simply has nowhere to land. You're about to learn 5 silent Stoic responses. Not theories, not motivational quotes, but practical ways to shut down disrespect immediately. No arguing, no explaining, no lowering yourself, just calm power. As you watch, don't try to memorize everything. Pay attention to the moments that feel uncomfortable. Those are the ones you need most. Stay with me until the end, because the last response changes how people read you before you ever speak. 1. The silent stare. When you stop reacting, they lose power. There is a moment when disrespect is tested. It's subtle. Someone cuts you off mid-sentence. They smirk after a sarcastic remark. They look at you, waiting to see what you'll do next. Most men fail this moment without realizing it. The instinctive response is to jump in, to correct, to defend, to push back with words. But that reaction is exactly what gives the other person control. They weren't trying to dominate you with logic. They were testing whether they could move you. Disrespect feeds on reaction. Stoicism teaches a principle most people never master. Power belongs to the one who remains unmoved. Epictetus made this clear when he reminded us that people don't disturb us. Our judgments about their behavior do. When you react instantly, you hand over authorship of your emotional state. The silent stare reverses this dynamic. Imagine a meeting where someone interrupts you to sound clever. Instead of talking over them or rushing to reclaim the floor, you stop. You look at them calmly, not aggressively, not emotionally, just present, steady, unhurried. 3 seconds of silence feels like an eternity to someone who expected resistance. Why does this work? Because silence removes the script they were counting on. They expected you to defend yourself. They expected irritation, sarcasm, or submission. Instead, they are suddenly exposed, standing alone with their behavior. The human nervous system is highly sensitive to social feedback. When you refuse to react, their brain scrambles to reinterpret what just happened. Was that a mistake? Did they cross a line? Are they the ones who look insecure now? That discomfort is not accidental. It is the consequence of calm dominance. Marcus Aurelius wrote that the best revenge is to be unlike the one who wronged you. The silent stare embodies this idea without a single word. You are not attacking, you are not retreating, you are holding your ground. This response works especially well in American social and professional environments where confidence is often confused with volume. The man who stays composed while others rush to fill silence immediately stands out as grounded and self-possessed. But this only works if your body language supports it. Your posture must be open and upright, your shoulders relaxed, Your breathing is slow. Your eyes are steady, not challenging, simply aware. You are not trying to intimidate. You are signaling that you are not affected. Here's the critical mistake to avoid: turning the silent stare into a performance. If your silence is fueled by anger or resentment, people will sense it. Stoic silence is clean. It carries no emotional residue. After the pause, you may continue speaking, calmly, exactly where you left off, or you may let the moment pass. Either choice reinforces the same message: you don't control me. This is why the silent stare is so powerful. It doesn't escalate conflict, it dissolves it. Men who master this response rarely need to use it often. Word spreads quickly, not through gossip, but through pattern. People learn that interrupting you doesn't produce entertainment. Provoking you doesn't generate leverage, and so they stop trying. The practice is simple, but it requires discipline. The next time you feel the urge to react immediately, pause instead. Count one breath, then another. Let silence do the work your emotions used to do for you. Disrespect thrives on reaction. Calm exposes it, and once you understand that, you begin to move through the world with a different kind of authority, one that doesn't need to announce itself to be felt. 2. Silence as the answer. When you refuse to feed. Disrespect. Most disrespect doesn't come shouting. It comes smiling. A sarcastic joke passed off as just humor. A passive-aggressive comment wrapped in politeness. A message meant to poke, not to connect. And beneath all of it is the same hunger. They want your reaction. Disrespect is not powered by logic. It's powered by emotion. The moment you respond, whether to defend yourself, explain your intent, or fire back, you've already fed it. Stoicism offers a brutal but liberating rule: never wrestle with pigs. Not because you're afraid to fight, but because the fight itself is the loss. The pig enjoys the mud. You walk away diminished. Silence, when chosen deliberately, cuts off the oxygen. Imagine a coworker who drops a sharp comment during a meeting. It's subtle enough to deny later, but clear enough to sting. Everyone feels it. All eyes briefly turn to you, waiting for your response. This is where most men sabotage themselves. They laugh it off, they clarify, they push back with words, and the moment stretches on. But when you choose silence, something breaks in the pattern. No laugh, no explanation, no counterattack, just stillness. That silence lands heavier than any clever reply because it denies the other person the payoff they were seeking. There is no social reward, no validation, no emotional feedback loop. Inside their mind, tension spikes. Did I misjudge him? Did that go too far? Why didn't he react? The human brain is wired to seek resolution in social exchanges. When you refuse to provide it, the discomfort transfers to them. They are left alone with their behavior, exposed, unprotected, and uncertain. Marcus Aurelius wrote that we should expect rudeness from others, not to excuse it, but to prevent surprise from controlling us. Silence, in this sense, is not submission. It is preparedness. This response is especially powerful in environments where disrespect hides behind familiarity. Families, friendships, social circles, and online spaces. People feel entitled to cross lines because they assume access. Silence revokes that access. You don't argue with the sarcastic relative. You don't spar with the passive-aggressive friend. You don't explain yourself to the online provocateur. You simply don't engage, and then you move. You shift your attention to someone else. You change the topic. You leave the room. You close the app. This movement matters. It signals that your silence is intentional. Not confusion, not fear. Over time, this creates a boundary that doesn't need to be announced. People learn what behavior earns presence and what behavior earns distance. There is a fear many men carry when they first practice this. What if they think I didn't notice? What if they think I'm weak? The truth is less flattering and more useful. People don't respect explanations. They respect limits. Silence is a limit. When you stop feeding disrespect, it doesn't escalate. It withers. The jokes stop landing. The comments lose momentum. The provocations search for another target. This takes discipline. Your ego will scream for expression. Your pride will demand correction. Your habits will urge you to re-enter the exchange. Stoicism asks for something harder: restraint. Silence is not about winning the moment. It's about refusing to rent space in your mind to people who haven't earned it. And once others realize that their words cannot disturb your internal order, the dynamic changes permanently. They either adjust their behavior or they remove themselves from your life. Both outcomes are victories. Because in the Stoic world, the strongest response is often the one that leaves nothing to argue with at all. 3. Stop explaining yourself. Silence reclaims your status. One of the fastest ways men lose respect is subtle and socially acceptable. They explain themselves too much, not because they are wrong, not because they lack intelligence, but because they feel the need to be understood. This habit looks harmless, even polite. In reality, it quietly places you in a lower position. Every time you over-explain, you step into an invisible courtroom. You present your reasons, you justify your choices, and without realizing it, you accept the role of the accused. Stoicism warns against this psychological trap. When you explain yourself unnecessarily, you send a message: my choices require approval. You frame your life as something open to debate, and once you do that, others feel entitled to question, judge, and dissect you. Marcus Aurelius wrote that a man should be satisfied with acting rightly, not with being praised for it. That principle applies directly here. You do not owe anyone a defense of your values, your direction, or your decisions. Consider how this plays out in everyday life. You change careers, and someone asks, why would you do that? You choose to spend less time with certain people, and they press, what's wrong? You decline an invitation, and the follow-up comes quickly. What's your reason? Most men respond by opening a file folder of explanations. They list pros and cons. They offer background context. They try to make the other person comfortable with a choice that was never theirs to approve. This is where status erodes. Because explanations invite evaluation, the more you explain, the more people feel licensed to poke holes in your reasoning, suggest alternatives, or subtly assert superiority. What began as your decision becomes a group discussion, and you are no longer leading it. Stoicism offers a cleaner alternative: brief, neutral closure. A Stoic response is not defensive, it is not emotional, and it does not invite continuation. I've decided to go in a different direction. This works best for me right now. I'm comfortable with that choice. Short, calm, final. Notice what these responses do not contain. They don't justify. They don't persuade. They don't ask for validation. They close the door without slamming it. This approach feels uncomfortable at first, especially for men conditioned to be agreeable or diplomatic. Silence after a short answer can feel awkward. Your mind fills the gap with imagined judgments. But here's the shift most people miss. When you stop explaining, the power dynamic flips. Instead of you proving the legitimacy of your choices, the other person must decide whether to respect them. Some will, some won't. And that distinction is valuable. People who respect boundaries adjust quickly. People who seek control push harder, revealing themselves in the process. Epictetus taught that freedom begins when you stop needing things to be a certain way outside yourself. That includes needing others to understand or agree with you. Understanding is not a prerequisite for respect. Clarity is. There is another hidden benefit to silence here. It preserves your energy. Explaining drains you because it pulls you into mental rehearsal, anticipating objections, managing impressions, smoothing emotions. Silence ends that labor. You act, you state, you move on. Over time, something interesting happens. People stop asking follow-up questions. They stop probing. They sense that pressing further won't produce leverage or access. Your presence changes. You're no longer someone who negotiates their own life out loud. You become someone whose decisions stand on their own. This doesn't make you cold. It makes you grounded. And grounded men don't need to announce authority. They demonstrate it through restraint. The discipline here is learning to sit with the pause after your answer. Resist the urge to fill the silence. Let the other person carry the discomfort if they need more explanation. Silence is not rudeness. It is self-respect. When you stop explaining yourself, you reclaim something essential, your position as the author of your own life. And once that position is restored, disrespect loses another place to land. 4. Strategic distance. Silence that resets boundaries. Disrespect rarely appears out of nowhere. It repeats because access remains open. When people can reach you anytime, speak to you however they want, and still receive attention, they learn something quickly. There is no cost. And where there is no cost, behavior does not change. Stoicism approaches this with a principle most people avoid applying. Access is earned. You do not owe unlimited availability to anyone. Not friends, not co-workers, not family. Distance, when used deliberately, is not avoidance. It is self-respect made visible. Many men hesitate to create distance because they confuse it with weakness or fear. They worry about appearing cold, dramatic, or insecure. In truth, distance is one of the clearest signals of internal order. Consider the friend who constantly undermines you with jokes, or the co-worker who brings negativity into every interaction, or the family member who casually disrespects your time and boundaries. If you keep showing up the same way, nothing changes. Silence paired with distance resets the equation. You stop being as available. You stop responding immediately. You stop engaging deeply, not as punishment, not as revenge, but as correction. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself that a man's worth is no greater than the worth of what he pursues. If you pursue approval, comfort, or familiarity at the expense of respect, that is exactly what you receive. Strategic distance comes in levels, not ultimatums. The first level is reduced frequency. You don't cut people off. You simply see them less. You initiate fewer interactions. You allow space to form naturally. This alone creates awareness. People notice when access changes. The second level is reduced intimacy. You stop sharing personal details. You keep conversations lighter. You don't invite commentary into your inner life. This protects your mental space while signaling a boundary without words. The third level is reduced responsiveness. You don't reply instantly. You don't engage every message. You don't explain delays. Silence here is not neglect. It is prioritization. Each level sends the same message. Your behavior determines your proximity. This approach is especially powerful in professional settings. Negative co-workers thrive on constant interaction. They vent, complain, and test limits because someone is always listening. When you quietly disengage, they lose their outlet. When you remain polite but distant, they are forced to adjust. Some will, others won't. And that tells you everything you need to know. Stoicism does not ask you to fix people. It asks you to place yourself correctly in relation to them. Distance is the tool that does that work silently. There is an emotional challenge here. Guilt. Men are often conditioned to tolerate discomfort for the sake of harmony. They stay accessible to avoid being misunderstood. They remain present to avoid conflict. But harmony without respect is not peace. It's erosion. Distance restores balance. Over time, the effects are unmistakable. People who respect you lean in with more care. They choose their words more thoughtfully. They adjust their tone. People who don't respect you fade. They seek easier targets. They drift toward environments where boundaries are loose. This natural sorting is not lost, it is clarity. You don't need to announce your standards. Your silence and distance enforce them for you. The discipline is consistency. Distance only works when it's steady, not reactive. If you withdraw and then rush back emotionally, the signal collapses. Calm, measured, unapologetic. That is the Stoic way. Strategic distance teaches others how to treat you, not through lectures, but through consequence. And once your space is protected, disrespect loses another route of entry. What remains is a smaller circle, but a stronger one. And in that space, your presence carries weight without needing to speak at all. 5. Calm presence. Your body language speaks louder than words. Before a word is spoken, respect is already being negotiated. Disrespect rarely targets the loudest voice or the most aggressive man. It targets the one who appears uncertain, the man who shrinks, rushes, or defensively explains himself with his body. Long before people test you with words, they read your presence. Stoicism understands this deeply. The philosophy was never only about thought. It was about embodiment. How you stand, how you move, how you occupy space. When your body is calm, your mind follows, and when both are aligned, provocation has nowhere to attach. Most men unknowingly signal vulnerability through speed and contraction. They speak too fast, they shift their weight, they break eye contact, they brace as if expecting an attack. These signals invite pressure. A calm presence reverses that dynamic without confrontation. Imagine someone making a dismissive comment toward you. You don't tense, you don't lean forward, you don't retreat. You remain still. Your shoulders stay relaxed, your spine upright, your face neutral. No apology, no defense. That stillness communicates something words cannot. I am not threatened. This is what Stoic control looks like in the physical world. Posture is the foundation. A grounded stance signals self-command. Feet planted, chest open, weight balanced, not rigid, not inflated, just stable. Men who hold their posture unconsciously project certainty. Others feel it immediately, even if they can't explain why. Eye contact is the second pillar. Disrespect often relies on avoidance. People look away after making a jab, waiting to see if it landed. When you meet their eyes calmly, without challenge or anger, the power shifts. You're not starting to dominate. You are acknowledging presence. That alone unsettles insecurity. Tempo is the third element. Men who are easily rattled rush. They interrupt themselves. They fill silence. A calm man slows everything down. He speaks deliberately. He pauses before responding. He allows silence to exist without discomfort. This pacing controls the emotional temperature of the interaction. Others unconsciously match it. Together, posture, eye contact, and tempo create frame control. You don't need to explain your frame. You embody it. This is why calm presence works so effectively in high-pressure environments. Meetings, negotiations, social settings where hierarchy is unspoken but constantly tested. Consider two responses to disrespect. One man reacts with sharp words, another says nothing but remains grounded and unflinching. The second man is remembered as the stronger presence. Why? Because aggression reveals friction. Calm reveals mastery. Training this presence is not about acting confident, it's about regulating your nervous system. Start with breathing. Slow, deep breaths through the nose signal safety to your body. They lower reactivity. They anchor your attention. Practice breathing in for 4 seconds, out for 6. Do this when you feel pressure rise. Next, train stillness. When someone speaks, resist the urge to move immediately. Let your body remain neutral. Let your response, if there is one, arrive later. Finally, observe your habits. Do you fidget when challenged? Do you smile defensively? Do you nod too much? These are not flaws. They are signals you can retrain. The goal is not intimidation, it is coherence. When your internal state and external posture align, others sense consistency, and consistency is hard to challenge. This is why calm presence is the final layer of silent Stoic power. Words can be ignored, arguments can be dismissed, but presence is felt. When you stand calmly, breathe steadily, and move deliberately, disrespect has no clear entry point. There is nothing to push against, nothing to provoke. And when others can't find a weakness to exploit, they stop trying. That is the quiet authority Stoicism was built on. Not dominance through force, but control through self-mastery. When you are solid, the world adjusts around you, and respect follows naturally, without needing to be asked for at all. Before we close, let's bring everything together. Today, you learned 5 silent Stoic responses that stop disrespect without confrontation. You saw how the silent stare removes power from provocation, how silence itself starves disrespect of emotional fuel, how stopping explanations restores your status, how strategic distance quietly resets boundaries, and how a calm, grounded presence communicates authority before a single word is spoken. Each of these responses points to the same truth. You don't stop disrespect by fighting it. You stop it by mastering yourself. Stoic silence is not weakness, it is discipline. It is self-respect in action. It is the ability to remain steady while others lose control. When you stop reacting, people feel it. When you stop explaining, they adjust. When you protect your space, behavior changes. Not because you demanded respect, but because you embodied it. Now comes the part that matters most. Practice. Don't try to use all 5 responses at once. Choose one. Just one. Apply it deliberately for the next 7 days, in conversations, at work, with family, online. Observe what happens. Not in others first, but in yourself. Notice how much energy you save. Notice how your presence shifts. Notice how fewer words are needed. That is Stoicism lived, not just understood. If this video helped you see disrespect differently, take a second to like it and subscribe for more Stoic lessons on self-mastery, calm power, and inner strength. And in the comments, tell me which response you're going to practice this week. Thank you for spending your time here. Your attention matters, and I don't take it lightly. I'll see you in the next video, where we'll go deeper into how calm men gain power without ever raising their voice.